Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome to what is a very different sort of video here on my channel. Something that I've never done before, and probably could do in the future depending on what it is. Today we are doing a bit of a car review, and as you can tell by the title, it is something very special, something that's not even technically fully released to the game right now, but I've managed to win it in the Diamond Casino, and that is this. The brand new Formula 1 car here in GTA 5. Isn't it a beauty? And what I'm going to do in this quite a short video is obviously walk you through some of the customizations you can do to this car if you're lucky enough, like myself, to win it. And also we are going to do a bit of like testing of it to see exactly what it is like. So anyway, let's get our first person. Yes, I've bought a racing suit. I've got to fit the attire. Let's put the visor down because we are ready to rock and roll. So here it is, the Prosion PR4, the first open wheel car on GTA, which is the start of a brand new race series on GTA, which is released next week, which is the 27th of February. But for me, I'm so excited to have been able to win this car. I'm so lucky to give you guys this video. But first of all, I will say I'm a massive Formula 1 fan. Anyone that knows me knows how much of a Formula 1 fan I am. And this, obviously, the release of this coincides with the return of Formula 1 for 2020 in the winter testing. Currently they are driving for 6 days, I believe, for winter testing at the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. But yeah, that's enough about that. But yeah, I am absolutely adoring this so far. Obviously I'm not going to give it too much away right now in regards to performance and details like that. But what I will say is it's bloody brilliant. But one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you now the customization you can do this car, and I'm also going to be changing how it looks for me. I've gone at the moment with candy red and cream. I think it looks pretty cool, but I'm actually going to do it with an inspired livery of a current 2020 Formula 1 team, one of my favourites on the grid. But anyway, we're going to go through everything. So obviously I've added armor standard bodywork. There's quite a few different panels you can change. You've got the non, so it's like one big body panel. I just don't think it adds too much detail. You can get rid of the side vents. You can make it all together like one big body, which kind of looks nice, I do admit. You can get rid of the back, so you can see more of the engine mechanics at the back, which I believe is pretty good, to be fair. That one has some vents on the the top side pods, and you can have that with the back removed. You can have the back removed even further, or you can have what I do, which is adds the most detail, which is as the side vents and obviously the back cover removed, so you can see the engine. As for brakes, it's standard. Front bumpers, you have quite a few. You start with a stock one, which I think is pretty cool, but I wanted something a bit shorter. I was going to go with that, but I decided to take it to the Circuit Attack front. You can have a championship one, which looks pretty darn cool. Maximum grip front wing, and then a legendary front wing, which is kind of like the first one but raised a bit. But I decided to go with the second one. I kind of like the small one because this is based off like a retro Formula 1 car, maybe around the late 70s, early 80s, maybe around the time where James Hunt won in his McLaren. That sort of era, I would have thought. Engine, obviously standard. You've got two types of oh, actually, because I didn't have the cover off when I did this. Nah, I still really like that one. There's not much you can see about that. Liveries, we have quite a few options. You can have it without livery, which is pretty darn cool. There's Jakey's Lager, which is I think pretty cool, but you need to have the right sort of colour, and it wasn't really for me. You got the Sprunk, so if you team that with lime green, that would look pretty cool, going all out lime green. Team Lazard, which is again pretty cool with green. Obviously trying to team it with something would be probably ideal. Then you have what I have, which is Douche Racing. I just think it looks cool. I like the sponsors. It's not too heavily sponsored. I think it's about right, and it works with the colours, and I'm going to keep this for my Formula 1 inspired car. There's this one which I am a big fan of. I think the black and red definitely work together, which a lot of people will probably use that one. not a big fan of the Pisswasser racing one. I did have it set to the atomic racing, but I just think it seems a bit too basic. I'm not one of these people that if I have a Formula 1 car, I want it to be like liveried up, and I think douche racing is one of the ones I like. There's this one which is kind of like the Prosian Dinker one. But it's just nice depending on what colours you want to go for. I like the black with it. There's this one which I am a big fan of, but I just don't think I will personally use. I'm sure that a lot of people will use this. It's just beautiful. It reminds me of like old school Lotus from about 5-6 years ago in Formula 1. I think that looks cool. So if that was like team with yellow or gold, even like the Haas, obviously the Haas was kind of similar to that from last season. And then you have Redwood, which has the blue and the red. Obviously it's teamed right now with my candy red. But yeah, that's all of them. So I'm going to keep Douche Racing. I think that's just the one for me. So what I'm going to do, I'll leave the respray till last. You've got different spoilers. So you have the bog standard one. Then there's a shortened one. There's a rectangular one. There's a 89 spec one. There's the cut-off wing, and then mine is mine is the cut-off wing. I can't think the smaller one looks better. There's extreme ones, like look how big they are. That's just so unnecessary on a car like that. And there's like a couple of the extreme wing is massive, but that's not for me. Transmission obviously normal, turbo normal. The wheel type it is a race type, so I'm guessing this is going to be a brand new one for open wheel cars and other racing cars. And there's like a few just a few different rims. I've chosen the ones I have. They're not the stock ones, but they're just nice. You can change the color to it, so I'm just going to keep them black. I just think that's nice. You can have a few different designs on the wheels, which I believe also is very nice. But I'm just going to stick to the atomic ones, which are quite standard. Obviously, bulletproof tyres. Then you've got the windows. I've chosen not to have like a little sort of like dash window, because you can have a bit of a windshield. Like if I wanted it like that I could, but I'm not going to. That kind of makes it sort of like an Indy car, where I just had the lip cowl, so it like just comes up a slight bit. I just think it looks better like that. But yeah, that is it for the customization, but I'm going to change it now to an inspired Formula 1 team in the 2020 that season, and that is homegrown one, McLaren. So obviously in the recent years McLaren have gone back to like an old classic retro style of orange and blue, so I'm going to be doing the same. How good does that look just in black or like graphite or something? That is a sexy car. It's a fantastic car. I'm absolutely loving this, but we are going to change it not to just orange. I want it as sunrise orange. Obviously it's not going to look amazing in the garage because there's not much light in it, but I'm going to put it to sunrise orange, and I'm going to put pearlescent to gold, I think, which is there. It just has a bit of like a shine to it, which I kind of like. And secondary colour, we are going to be going with a blue. And the blue I'm going to choose, I was going to do it like ultra blue, but I think that's just a bit too light. So what I'm going to do is put it as just normal bog standard blue. I think that just looks insanely good. And just to show you why I was contemplating a different livery, because I did have it as atomic, because it is blue. That looks sexy as hell, but I'm going to keep it as a douche one, but just because it's a bit more sponsored up, which is nice. But anyway, let's exit LS Customs. Let's take it to a racetrack. So as you can see, with this shine of the gold on the sunrise orange, this looks insane. So what we're going to do is take it to the nearest runway, which is very close, and we're going to have a bit of a shakedown. So anyway, let's start like talking about the handling. The handling is immaculate, and I'll show you exactly what I mean, because I've had a bit of a drive around, bit of like just a bit of mess around with it, just to see exactly what it's capable of. And some of the handling like of it is insane, but obviously we're going to be covering that in just a second once we get to the runway. And yeah, it's definitely worth getting it. I believe this car is going to be 3.5 mil once it is fully released. At the moment you can only win it in the Diamond Casino, so that is something to keep in mind. So if you get lucky, like I am very lucky, I'm very happy. I'm just trying to get anywhere near the line. But anyway, the first thing I want to show you is the first person. First person is actually very good. You have a digital dial, You have a rev counter. You do have fuel. I believe there's a like RPM, and then there's also, is that tire pressure on the left hand side? I don't know, but watch how quickly this goes to 60 miles an hour. I'm going to try and reduce wheel spin. Straight away, it's just there. But anyway, let's go now, and we are going to, I'm going to show you the handling, because you can do this U-turn here, up here, flat out. Let's see if I can actually nail it. Oh, I actually didn't nail that one. Normally I'm a bit better at that. I did do one where I actually hit chicanes perfectly, but this tighter bit you might have to just, I think you can ease off just a bit and get around. Okay, I'm not covering myself in glory, but anyway, let's try this bit again. So obviously F1 drivers, you want to make the angle as big as you can, and then you turn in. Look, that is a crazy flat out. So braking is not really necessary, but there is a party piece. So as you can see, we're cruising about 120 mile an hour. Look at these brakes. That's just instant. That's like a it's just instant. It's utterly remarkable, this thing. Maxed out, I have, when driving down the highway to actually get to around here before obviously filming this video, it does seem to kind of max out around 120, which I don't know how that compares to other cars in this game, but obviously this is going to be its own race series, so you're going to only be like going up against other Formula 1 cars. I believe there's going to be 2 styles of Formula 1 car released on GTA, obviously this being one of them. But I could drive this all day. The only light is the one on the back, which is fair enough. It is a Formula 1 car, and normally that is to signals that there is a car in front of you in Formula 1. So when it's raining, it's a flashing light, so like drivers can see. Look at that, flat out. It's hard to see the speedo in the day, but we are going about 118 mile an hour now. Let's see if we can nail this corner. But yeah, braking is utterly insane. And you're probably thinking, like, is the steering actually that good? Like, not losing control whatsoever. You can throw it about as much as you can. Does it drift? Bit of handbrake? No, it doesn't drift. It's very planted. The downforce on this thing is immaculate. But you're probably thinking, oh, it seems a bit too safe, maybe. Watch this. Let me just pull up, use the amazing brakes. You can still, obviously, the showboat, you can still do, like, you can still do donuts, trust me, you can still do donuts. Like, it's actually a wonderful like addition to this game. Obviously, being a Formula 1 fan, I'm sure a few of you guys are a Formula 1 fan as well. You're gonna absolutely love this. So like I said, when it comes out, the price is actually going to be about $3.5 million. So obviously I've saved myself quite a lot of in-game currency, but I would probably say it's worth it. It is. Imagine a weaponized Formula 1 car. That is utterly insane. But yeah, I've fallen head over heels for this, and I think like how I've done it in the McLaren colours is perfect, in fairness. But anyway guys, that is going to wrap up this short Formula 1 car review here on GTA 5. If you have enjoyed this sort of video, be sure to smash that like button. I might do more in the future if like other releases, other cars come out. Maybe when the second Formula 1 car comes out, I might do that. Also, if you want to see like me actually racing it once the race series comes out next week, then I will be sure to do so. But anyway guys, until next time, goodbye. I didn't get that.